You wake up. Your eyes flutter open. The ceiling above you is unfamiliar. The room smells like wealth, like new leather, expensive wood, and that specific kind of air that comes from climate control systems that cost more than most people's houses. Your phone buzzes. You reach for it and see 17 missed calls from numbers you don't recognize. Then you see the notification, a bank alert. You laugh, then you read the number. Your laugh dies. You now have more money than every country's GDP combined. You are the richest person in human history, and right now, the world has no idea. You sit up slowly, your heart pounding. The sheets feel like clouds. You swing your legs out of bed and your feet touch marble flooring. Warm marble flooring. Of course it's warm. Think about this rationally. You tell yourself this is a dream, but your fingers are cold. Your breath is visible in the mirror across the room. You pinch yourself. It hurts. This is real. Your net worth is $47 trillion. That's not a typo. 47 trillion. To put this in perspective, you could give every human being on Earth $1 million and still have more money than you could spend in 1,000 lifetimes. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Money at this scale stops being currency. It stops being a number. It becomes something else entirely. It becomes power. And power is a burden you didn't sign up for. You walk downstairs and find an entire team of people waiting for you. A butler, 2 lawyers, an accountant, a security director. They all look very serious. Nobody told you about them, but somehow they knew you'd wake up today. They've been waiting for you your entire life. The security director steps forward. "We need to talk about the threats," he says. "You don't understand. Threats? In the next 72 hours, he explains, every major world power will know about you. Governments will want meetings. Corporations will want partnerships. Criminal organizations will want either your money or your death. You'll need to move locations constantly. Your old identity is gone. You can never go back to your family or friends. It would put them in danger. You're not trapped by your money. You're protected by it. There's a difference, but the end result feels the same. You realize you need to get ahead of this. You call a press conference, not because you want to, but because the silence is worse. Within hours, you're sitting in front of reporters from every nation on Earth. They're screaming questions at you. How did you get this money? Did you steal it? Are you a criminal? Are you planning to buy governments? Take over the world? You answer as honestly as you can. You have no idea. You woke up this way, and then something happens that you don't expect. The room goes quiet because they realize something that you just realized. Intention doesn't matter anymore. You could be the most benevolent person alive or the most destructive with $147 trillion. Your intention is irrelevant. Your mere existence has already changed everything. So you start spending it, but spending becomes its own nightmare. You want to solve world hunger, so you allocate $2 trillion. The humanitarian infrastructure to distribute that food doesn't exist. The logistics are impossible. You've just created a humanitarian disaster because you don't have the systems in place. You want to cure every disease. You pour $50 trillion into medical research. The brilliant minds that could do this work don't exist yet. You can't create intelligence with money. You can't accelerate human innovation beyond its natural limits. You're so wealthy that you've run out of problems that money can actually solve. You're like a child who wished for infinite candy and now realizes that candy means nothing when it's infinite. You decide to invest in space. Trillion-dollar space stations, permanent lunar colonies, Mars terraforming projects with budgets that dwarf entire nations' annual spending. This is where your money finally starts making sense because space is the only frontier that's big enough to match your wealth. You begin reshaping humanity's future. Within 5 years, you've doubled the space program's progress compared to centuries of previous work. You're not just rich anymore, you're a civilization unto yourself. Your personal wealth is literally advancing human technology at a pace that would be impossible otherwise. But then reality hits you harder than before. You realize that infinite money can't buy you the one thing that actually matters: time. Your parents are still aging. Your friends are still mortal. You can't buy immortality yet because it doesn't exist. You could spend trillions on life extension research, and maybe you'll add decades. Maybe you'll crack the aging code, but you'll still die someday. And when you do, what happens to your wealth? You could give it away, but $147 trillion is too much for any single institution to handle ethically. You could create a legacy that spans generations. You could literally reshape human civilization for the next 1,000 years. But you'll never see any of it. You'll never know if you got it right. You sit back in your mansion-sized bedroom and understand something that no other human has ever truly understood. Money is power, but only to a point. Beyond that point, it becomes a burden. It becomes a responsibility. It becomes the weight of the world literally sitting on your shoulders. You have the power to prevent suffering on a scale most people can't imagine, which means you also have the responsibility to do it. And that responsibility will never stop haunting you. Your wealth makes you immortal in history, but it also makes you a prisoner of your own potential. You wake up as the richest person in human history, and by noon, you realize it might be the loneliest existence possible.